Welcome to this week's Ask EMBN show. It's that time of the week where me and Steve bash our heads together and hopefully answer all your e-bike conundrums and questions and problems.
Galagas flying in with a 29er e-bike. What bike boxes can I use?
Well, a big thing I want to know is what you're doing with your battery, first of all. Obviously, if you know that it's you can't fly with a battery at all, so maybe you're renting a battery out or you're flying or with your e-bike and shipping the battery out as well. But the best bike boxes to use would be to go to your local bike shop, ask them for like one of the pre-built bike boxes. They're a bit taller, a bit longer as well, so it's going to give you that extra clearance for the big 29-inch wheels.
Or maybe invest in a bike bag.
Yeah, the ones we use on eMTB are the douchebag ones. They've got a big roll cage in there and they can accommodate any size wheels as well.
Yeah,
so
but it's an important question. Is the battery thing is an important one because what we do is we actually have got batteries in different countries, so all we have to do is fly with the e-bike with no battery mounted, so there's no problem there.
Worth doing it.
Darren Dawson, do you mind if I put my hand there?
No, it's fine, Steve.
Great show, guys. Thanks, Darren. My question is, if the motor is turned off when riding, does it still add mileage to the odometer? Thanks. Ooh,
good question.
Good question.
I think it depends on the system that you've got. If it's a Shimano system, you literally just jumped on your bike and rode it with the system totally dead, then it wouldn't record any mileage. But if you turn the system on, but went in the setting below eco, so it's off basically, but the heads-up display is still lit up and recording speed and things like that, then it would actually record the mileage. And then if you were going to buy a second-hand bike, something I was reading the other day is obviously if it's been fitted with a dongle, then if that bike had done 5,000 miles with a dongle on it, then it would actually only record 2,500 miles. So something to be really careful of on recorded mileage on a bike as well.
Interesting. So. Dario Traiano. Hi guys, I'm fairly content with my Cubester 500 HPA 140 race, and so you should be. But really like the look and capabilities of the new Bosch KeyOps control system. So I don't want to change the bike, but want to know the new controls. Can you help me where to get this from, please? Just love all the insight you guys have, both technical and riding skill. That's very kind of you, Dario.
Thank you.
Troiano.
I had a quick look round online, and you can buy the Bosch KeyOps unit if you know what you want to upgrade to, but it isn't actually available to buy apart from a Bosch dealer, so it really needs to come from them and be retrofitted to your bike by them, because it's something that needs to be all like recalibrated into the system you've got. So it isn't an off-the-shelf item, as it were. You need to go to a dealer to buy that, but it is totally retrofittable to that bike.
Nice, there you go, Dario. This from Matt Johansson. Hey guys, love the show. Thank you. I want to know what you think about electronic gear shifting versus manual shifting. Is it worth the extra money? So I was with the guys from Shimano last week, and I tried Di2 electronic shifting, and it's really interesting because when you upshifting or downshifting on a manual bike,
yeah,
the motor keeps working, and obviously it keeps the pressure through the cranks and the transmission. However, with Di2, it actually momentarily stops any power going through the system. So actually, the shifting is neater, crisper, and less wear on your componentry. Did you know that?
I didn't know that, but that's really cool actually. But obviously, Di2 and all the SRAM access stuff as well is a really high price. So, as you know, the drivetrain is quite a high wear item on an e-bike, so it's totally up to you. If you've got deep pockets, and I think it would be totally worth doing. Yeah. But if you're on a budget, then it is obviously quite a stretch, and you could see a limited mileage.
But what about long term? If you could put in, if say Di2 puts less wear on your transmission, surely that's a good thing.
Definitely. But as I say, it's getting that tape. If you've got a lot of money, then great, but I think if you're on a budget, then
didn't you do a video on gears and chain?
Yeah, we've done that. That's playing on screen now. Signs of wear on your drivetrain on your e-bike are going to be things like your gears skipping under load, especially on the smaller cassettes, because you haven't got as much chain coverage around them. The teeth getting sharper on the gears you use most, and your chain, actually feeling that chain, you feel how rough and edge of shifting plates get on those. Means that chain actually needs replacing. Another way of checking the chain is actually to get a chain checker. These are available in most bike shops, also online. It's just a tool that drops in to each chain plate and measures the growth and stretch on that chain. So if you do find your chain or your cassette is worn, you actually need to replace both those items together.
Pizza Gorgonzola. Do you know what? I really like Gorgonzola, I have to say. But the question is, how frequently do you show the pictures we upload on your site?
Well, we got a lot of pictures sent in to us for the bike vault and various bits in the show. We've got quite a lot of you guys trying to send it to us on Facebook and Instagram, things like that. You need to use the uploader service. Details of that are on screen now. That's the easiest way to get your bikes into us for the show.
Grim Reaper, I've noticed some BE bikes only allow the battery to be swapped out by a dealer. Really?
Yeah, I think some of the Norcos and stuff like that have been like that.
Really? So they... I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Anyway, why do they do this? And is it better to get an e-bike where you can swap out the battery? Would you ever buy an e-bike where the battery does not come out, or do you believe a spare battery is the way to go? I'm totally with the spare battery route, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Because the kind of riding that we do sometimes, we do these big adventures, they rely on you taking a spare battery. However, it depends on the size of the battery. For example, you know, the Specialized lever with a 700 watt hour, you probably wouldn't need to have a spare. Whereas like the Shimano with 500 watt hour or the Bosch with 500 watt hour, you know, you can have some big rides out with two batteries.
Yeah, not forgetting to mention, obviously, if you want to travel with that bike, you're not going to be able to take the battery out of it if you're going to fly and things like that. So definitely going to be a big limiting factor on the bike choice. I would definitely go for the removable battery.
I didn't actually know that.
Yeah, I think it's kind of some of the budget bikes as well will be like a fixed battery, but someone was talking about a Norco or something. It has to be removed by the dealer. So I know a lot of them are a bit more of a faff to take batteries out than the others, but I'd always go for an external mounted quick change battery.
And if you want to know what fun you can have on a big day out, check out Chris's 100k the fun way.
The ride we're doing today is 100k. It's a mix of all styles of riding and locations, mostly off-road, but linked in with some road work to get to the trails too. Lots of climbs, lots of downhill, loads of fun. In fact, there's a lot of spots I used to ride and drive a car in between, but instead we're hitting it today all in one epic ride. So 100k, 2 batteries. Let's see how we go. Just going to ride in eco first just to keep that battery management down, so we'll road for a little bit, probably switch it up when we get to the trails, but it's all about good battery management. Big ride today, 62.5 miles or 100 k's, so a big ride.
Chrill one, can you say Chrill?
Is that Welsh?
Well, Rill is, but Chrill is who's asking the question. Anyway, the question is, have you guys heard anything good or bad rather, about the bicycle manufacturer Rock Machine? They make a bike called the E5027 Plus, and I'm thinking about buying one. What are your thoughts? Well, I think it's nice. It's a different brand. You don't. It's not mainstream, is it?
No, it's still fairly big out there as well. But I had a quick look at the bike. It's obviously got the Shimano E8000 motor on there, Shimano drivetrain. The angles look good on it. The only thing I did see on it didn't have a dropper seat post.
Got to have a dropper, Chris.
Obviously, something you can fit at a later date if the bike's at a good price. I think it definitely looks amazing.
And good thing is you've actually tuned into the right channel, because this man here knows a thing about how to handle a hardtail.
So far, so good. This hardtail is really putting a smile on my face. Every trail so far has been a blast up and down. But the thing is, those tracks have been really manicured, quite smooth. I think once we get on the more natural stuff, I think it could be a different story. Let's see.
I've been a real bad boy on the town all night. Starting to calm down with the morning light. I'm in the dirt, down in the dirt.
So Andrew Graham's asking, when will e-bike frames with motors only be sold so I can build my own components into it? Have you heard of any, Steve?
I haven't, Chris, I'm afraid, no. They mostly seem to be complete bikes at the moment.
I think I'd
say 99% are complete bikes.
Yeah, and the only one that I know of that I've heard about is Foes Racing. They do a frame-only option, but that is still in the pipeline. It's not actually available, but keep an eye out for that. That could be an option. Shimano E8000 motor, and obviously an awesome Foes frame as well.
Rasmus Rekyaya, hey, hope you got time to help. Yep, of course we have. Looking for a trail bike and found the Motero Neo 2. Now that's a Cannondale, mainly for trail riding. But if I want to take it on my way to work, will I be out of luck with a 16-tooth front sprocket I'm taking it?
Yep.
I know they say that with the technology that it would be the same as a 40-tooth with the assist of the motor, but when I get past the 25 kilometers an hour restriction point, would it be just a big pain to get a decent speed on a straight road as it would be with a downhill bike. Would I be better off with something like a Cujo Neo 1 with a 30 footers?
Yeah, well, the Matera that you're on about comes with a Bosch system, so it comes with that 16.2 front sprocket. So the Bosch system is a great motor as well, but it will suffer above that limit, whereas the Cujo Neo that you're mentioning comes with a Shimano Steps, so it's got a traditional chainring on the front as well. And the Steps motor is better above the 25 kilometers, a lot less resistance as well. So you need to look at the price points and what you're doing with the bike. Obviously you can swap around the chain rings a little bit easier than you can do on the Bosch. Well, they're quite similar, aren't they? You can swap the chain ring sizes.
I'd go for the Shimano bike.
But I'd go for that Cujo Neo. I think is more, suitable for what you're after doing with the bike, especially road work, things like that as well.
And your question is 25 kilometers enough? Well, we've actually done a video on that. Now, first up, I will agree that the 25 kilometre an hour restriction can be quite frustrating on occasions, and it would be naive of me not to agree with that. But mostly it's on terrain such as flat towpaths, fire roads, tarmac roads, and on occasion those gently dipping single tracks where it's 50-50 where you're above the 25k rule.
We've got Mads Norberg. He's saying Specialized Kenevo FSR Comp or Merida E160 800 or High Bike Enduro 6.0. Help, I can't decide. Lucky man, choosing between all those different bikes. So a couple of those
very different bikes too.
Yeah, 180 mil travel, 2 of those bikes, and one is obviously a 160 as well. What's your thoughts, Steve? Depends on the sort of riding you're doing as well. I think that obviously Kenevo is quite of a aggressive, downhilly enduro sort of aggressive bike. And
I'd be totally honest with you. I'm thinking, will any of those bikes be upgraded anytime soon? Obviously, we've seen the Specialized, and it's the new Levo. Obviously, the Kenevo is going to follow on, right? I'm just being open here, but what I'm thinking.
Putting it out there.
And will the same apply to Merida or High Bike in the future? I've got no idea. I mean, I know that the Fly-Ons are coming out. Has Merida got a new bike coming out?
And each one of those bikes has all got different motors as well. You've got one from Bros, one from Bosch, and the other is Shimano motor. So there's 3 different motors as well there. So that's going to play a different part on the bike.
I mean, also, we ride the High Bike Enduros with the Yamaha motor fitted, and that's a cool bike too.
Yeah. I couldn't help decide. It really I think, a demo day or really research those bikes into what sort of style of riding you're going to do.
Yeah.
Make sure you tick all the boxes.
And also make sure you get a bike that fits you correctly. So if you let us know how tall you are, Mads, we can point you in the right direction.
That's it for this week's Ask EMBN show. Love hearing your questions and tackling them here with Steve.
Yeah, quite a conundrum, as you say,
It's
Chris.
been a hell of a conundrum today.
Yeah.
But if you guys got any questions, hashtag Ask EMBN, drop them in the comments box below. But don't forget, if you want to stick around, you can subscribe to EMBN by clicking the globe in the middle of the screen. But if you want to stick around, what videos you got?
What have we got? We've got loads of videos. How about de-restricted versus restricted, Chris?
That was a good one.
That's another conundrum which you need to answer.
Drop us some comments, give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. We'll see you in the next one.